Hey guys, how you doing? So, this is the English countryside on a summer's evening. It's been a real hot day today. It's nearly hit 30 degrees. We have about maybe 3 days like this in a UK summer. It's a pretty rare occurrence, but when we have it, it's pretty stunning to say the least. I can even hear the sound of 1940s jazz music drifting across the nearby hills. There's a festival just a few fields over in the estate of an old castle. So that's quite nice to have that ambience. I don't know if you can hear it. Mike probably won't pick it up, but it's over that direction. Look at that. That's beautiful, isn't it? That is pretty beautiful. What isn't so beautiful, however, is getting stung by stinging nettles on your bare legs. But there we go, that's the price you pay for coming into the countryside. It's a dangerous place, especially here in England. All sorts of critters and nasties that will pounce on you. Well, no, not really. It's maybe a horde of angry ants, but that's probably as bad as we get it. So, I'm going to take you to quite a special place that I came across last year completely by accident as I was just exploring this area. I was really blown away by it. It's, well, you'll see, but it's kind of cool. And it's just one of those places that has a bit of a kind of a magical feel to it. So on an evening like this, I thought it'd be great to come down here. Hopefully there's no witches there. You'll know what I mean when you see it. I don't think I've ever done one of these talky walkie videos. I've got to be careful where I place my feet. Don't worry, we're nearly there. This is so nice out here. So nice out here, whilst also carrying around this huge black camera in front of my face, really feeling in one with nature. But there we go, you can let me off because I don't do this too often. Again, another sight for sore eyes. A sight that is out of focus, goddammit. There we go. Oh, it's so pretty. You see this? I'm going to zoom in on this. I love things like this. I don't know why. Just a little gate and a fence just leading into another field. I don't know what it is about that, but it always just reminds me of kind of like, I don't know, Frodo and Sam going off on a big adventure, leaving the Shire, off to Mordor, and off to a new life, a new place. Just things like that. I don't know. Just drives my NI wild child. Okay, let's get to the destination. And we're nearly there. I can see it. Okay, we're here, and I'm on my own. So there we go. That's nice. I can show it to you. Here it is. So you might not be able to make out, well, it's a big flipping tree, that much is clear. It's a massive dead tree. Can't quite see it because it's in shadow. But what is interesting about it is the things that are hanging off it. Again, I'll just show you where we are. Really, literally in the middle of nowhere. Beautiful, really old English countryside. Big trees. You can probably hear the music from the festival over in the other side of the hill, actually. Quite close now. So there we go. I don't have to add any music in the editing. But look at this thing. It's just full of all of this paraphernalia, all these things hanging off it. People come and leave all sorts of interesting, I think, those prayer flags. We've got a little door leading into, I don't know, into another world, another dimension. Got dream catchers. We've got a big floating, I don't know what the hell that is, sea urchin, coconut, white thing. But what's so impressive really is the tree itself is absolutely huge. It must be literally, well, I don't know, that's definitely hundreds of years old. I don't know if it's thousands, maybe not that old, but, well, maybe it is. But it's massive. It's like the tree version of the Elephant Man. Yeah, I'm going to call this tree Mr. Merrick from now on. So yeah, there we go. As I said earlier, it's the kind of place you can imagine a witch's covent or covenant or whatever they call them, witch's coven coming and sitting around the fire and making spells on those nasty boys who dumped them. So yeah, pretty cool, eh? Here's some prayer flags here. Starman, da, 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 da. Bowie's back. This is some Blair Witch shit. These witches must literally be about 7 years old. Alright, so as beautiful as it is out here, and what a gorgeous evening it is, I didn't actually come here just to kind of look at landscapes and things hanging off a tree. What I came here to do was have a bit of, just let off some steam, I guess you could say. I don't want to just be someone who uploads moany videos on YouTube. But imagine this, when you have a pimple or a spot and it's got pus in it, and you know that you could just leave it alone and let it heal, but you just have to burst it. You just have to pop that mother because it's so satisfying afterwards. This is me doing that. Because, man, for so long I've just been walking around with this kind of negativity in regards to what our societies are turning into, what they've become. And most of the time I just keep my mouth shut and I kind of keep it to myself. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. But at the same time, you've got to speak up, There's some point you just have to say something. So this is me doing it now. Where do I start? What I'm sick of is just the sheer lack of realness in society. We have the superficiality of the mainstream, the absolutely awful films that are made, Fast and Furious 8, Pirates of the Caribbean 5, whatever they are. Just no originality, no creativity, terrible music, terrible... Yeah, I'm sounding old and moany now, aren't I? But you know what I mean? Everything has just become manufactured. It has lost originality, it has lost authenticity, creativity. It doesn't really have any relevance. Everything is a joke. Everything is just about, bro jokes or whatever. It's all just playing down to the lowest common denominator. And, having a laugh, having fun, having a crack is great. It really is. But there is another side to everything. And when so much of the avenues of expression have been taken over by corporate interest, by business suits, by people who are only concerned about getting the biggest profit margins, you start killing off a very important part of the human being, a part that we need in our societies to be healthy. We need that authentic, real creativity. We need people to speak up, whether it's just talking or through music or through art, to talk about issues in society and in the world that we have to face, because otherwise things never get better, never really change for the good. But what annoys me the most really is that, especially recently here in the UK, we've recently had some elections, and it is just the lack of just politicians, man. They're just so inauthentic. You can see right through them. That's the reason no one trusts politicians. To be honest, I'm not a massive believer in the the effectiveness of party politics anyway. I think it is more of a sideshow than actually anything that really has a big impact. You know, things in society never really change depending on who's in power, who's in government. It's more about just propping up the system and kind of keeping the status quo going, you know. You just spew out a few lines of rhetoric and some kind of fancy catchphrases that the media will run with, and that's it. You know, that's all you have to do really to try and keep the people happy. But, you know, I think people are waking up to this now and they're just realizing it's so played, it's so done. No one speaks from their heart or from their gut or from a place of realness. Everything is scripted, everything is a PR press release, you know. Leaders are media trained. They know when to pause. They know when to wave their hands around. Like, anyone can be a politician. You just have to talk this. And this is why we will never give in. And as a country and a nation, we must stand up to this terrible awfulness. Blah, 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 blah. It's just like that. You know, everything. You ask a straight question to a politician, they don't even answer it. They just talk about the other party. Well, yes, but the Labour or the Conservatives or the Liberals or the Republicans, they are trying to do this, and we strongly resent this proposal because we know that it is going to deeply... And it's just stop arguing with each other. Stop attacking each other. Just freaking grow up and focus on the big human issues that all of us face, that all of us have an effect on everyone's lives. I mean, here in the UK we have something called politicians' question times. It's where the Prime Minister stands up in a room, a big old room in the Houses of Parliament with all the MPs, and they all bicker amongst themselves and go ho, 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 when someone says an insult or something, and it's just so out of touch with any kind of reality, with anything that is actually beneficial in terms of human beings coming together, being honest with themselves, being real with each other, and saying, look, we got issues, we got a problem, let's try and sort it out. This is how I feel, this is how you feel. Okay, great, let's move on from there. That's the only way it's the only way things work. That's the only way you can ever get human beings to actually do something productive, rather than just kind of getting at each other's throats. And I'm just sick of how politics is, and what is only presented in the mainstream is just represents that. And you have all these experts on TV in their suits and ties talking, you know, very authoritatively about the lead, who's got the lead and what's happening, and all these silly figures and graphs, as if it's such an important thing. When it's, no, the only important thing is just having people just speak honestly and speak the truth, and not afraid of maybe saying something that is offensive or saying something that is a bit near the mark, because things like that have to be said. Because if you never say anything that might ruffle feathers, you can't say anything at all. And everyone walks on eggshells in this day and age. Everyone's walking around so afraid of offending somebody. Oh gosh, I can't offend someone. Oh no. But it's like, yeah, if you're being a dick to someone, you're being a dick, and that's pretty obvious. But if you're saying something that troubles people because it actually makes them have to think about something, and they don't like that, then you should say things like that. I think it was John F. Kennedy actually who said something about people. The problem with society, and this was back in the 60s, was that people didn't like thinking about things that troubled them. And society just worked in a way to kind of just paper over all the cracks and just keep on repeating the same tried and tested kind of rhetoric and tradition that came from the generation before and the decade before and the establishment before, and just kept it going and going and going. Where what you really needed to do was just actually tackle the troubling thoughts and bring those to light, because that's the only way that anything can ever evolve, can ever change. You have to find what isn't working, and you have to not be afraid of the negative reaction you might get by pointing those things out. And that's exactly what we need now. And you don't get it from the mainstream. You will not get it from the mainstream. If you want to find anything of value, integrity, truth, stay away from the mainstream. You won't find it there. If you're hoping to find that stuff in the mainstream, you'll be last in line, you know? The mainstream is always the last thing to catch up to anything that is innovative or creative or beneficial or whatever it may be. It's always the last. Mainstream is just about keeping things going as they are. Society is an entity in itself. It doesn't really care about you as an individual. It cares about its own survival. Politicians and party politics and government is pretty much just has become, whether it was originally designed to or if it's just happened, it has become so consumed into this model of society. It just acts as a mode to kind of keep it going. Politicians are pretty much janitors, you know, in suits, and they're just keeping it going and ticking it along, you know, regardless of what they say, what their manifesto is. It's nothing earth-shattering, and it is just about the same old things: the economy, security, military, productivity, whatever it may be, you know. Rarely is it about human happiness, love, community, global community, you know, forging. It's just, yeah, it's just a load of crap, man. It's just a load of rubbish. And it's quite hard to find authentic, real voices in that world, and in where everybody is just so focused on just repeating what they've heard from someone else until it turns into this big thing that is the truth and is on your front page, you know. It's just, the problem is today that so few people think, or if people do think, you don't hear from them. You're not hearing from the people who are doing the thinking and working hard to try and think, hey, how could we actually solve this issue? Because there is a way we could do this. We just got to do something different. No, it's just the same old thing, just fear, social conditioning. Right, my memory card's just about to run out, so I'm going to leave this here and dance naked around this crazy tree. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace out.